Commonwealth Observer Group pledges neutrality, urges stakeholders to ensure peaceful elections. Police train personnel on election security. Gunmen kill divisional police officer, 2 others in fresh Anambra attack. Away from Nigeria, U.S. announces $100 million in earthquake relief funding for Turkey and Syria as death toll tops 47,000. Hello and welcome to the news update on Trust TV. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for joining. Now the details. Members of Commonwealth Elections Observer Group for the 2023 Nigeria's election have arrived at the country to monitor the conduct of the presidential and National Assembly elections slated for Saturday. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports that the group, led by the former South African President Thabo Mbeki, harps on the need for peaceful, transparent, credible and inclusive election that will meet the yearnings and aspirations of the people. The report.
The Commonwealth Observer Group is in Nigeria for the 7th time since the return of democracy in 1999. Comprising of eminent personalities from around Commonwealth countries, the group has a mandate to observe and assess the pre-election period, activities on polling day and the post-election period.
Throughout, we'll consider all factors relating to the credibility of the electoral process. We'll assess whether the elections are conducted according to the standards of democratic elections to which Nigeria has committed itself, including the constitutional framework and national legislation, as well as Commonwealth and other international commitments. As we undertake this assessment and conduct our duties, we will be objective, independent, and impartial.
The group is expected to visit selected states of the Federation such as Kano, Sokoto, Lagos, Ondo, Edo, Rivers, Benue and Abuja and submit recommendations for future improvement of the process.
The Commonwealth Observer Group has no executive role. Our function is not to supervise but to observe the process as a whole and to form a judgment accordingly. We are here in our individual capacities as eminent and experienced Commonwealth citizens, and as such our assessment will be our own and not that of any Commonwealth member government or organization.
The Commonwealth Observer Group is equally keen in ensuring the implementation of its previous recommendations with a view to entrenching democratic governance amongst member states. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
In a bid to have a violence-free atmosphere for elections, the Nigeria Police has trained men and officers of the force expected to play roles in curbing violence in the Nigeria's election as it affects the upcoming 2023 polls. Over 300,000 policemen will be deployed for the presidential and National Assembly elections on Saturday. Noel Samson reports that the training is holding at the International Conference Center in Abuja.
And election officials.
We are to police the election from those who believe that they can behave as adversaries, those who either do not want the election to take place or are all out to sabotage the process. And second, we are to also create an enabling environment for Nigerians who want to exercise, who want to take active part in choosing their leaders, to have a conducive environment to come out and vote for the leaders of their choice.
Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of training, Hafiz Mohammed, said the essence of the training is to keep personnel abreast of the responsibilities.
It is true that having a conference like this has to do with creating an enabling environment for us to brainstorm on what is needed. All of us, it is a known fact that we all know our responsibilities when it comes to conducting the election. This is not the first time, this is not the second time. We've been tested, but in few days to come, all of us here, our collective will and our responsibilities will be tested. So we need to bring all our past experiences and what we have learned before and what we are going to learn here.
The Nigeria Police Force reiterates resolve of officers and men to provide conducive environment for violence-free 2023 general elections. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Federation of Muslim Women's Association of Nigeria, Form 1 Osun State Chapter, has called on the Independent National Electoral Commission to address all encumbrances that may hinder women's participation in the forthcoming elections. While appealing to women to troop out to vote for candidates of their choice, Form 1 also charged security agencies to ensure safety of electorates during the exercise. Hamid Oegbadi files in the report.
Leaders and members of the Federation of Muslim Women's Association of Nigeria, Osun State Chapter, held special prayers for God's intervention so that the 2023 general elections in Nigeria will be peaceful. The association urged women to troop out on Saturday to cast their ballot. Form 1 warned women not to sell their votes during the elections.
All women, all Muslim women are enjoined to vote Lillahi wa Rasulihi. We should not set our vote. Selling of vote is sinful. It's against Islamic laws. So we must not sell our vote. We must not sell our conscience. We must not trade our vote for either for rice or for beans or even for turkey.
Rike Pade Omishakin, the National Orientation Agency's Community Orientation and Mobilization Officer for Osogbo Local Government, educated the Muslim women on their roles during the elections.
Women, we know we are very active politically, but sometimes our activeness is just in our rooms. So as now we are here to call on everybody to sensitize them on the need for all the women. As long as they have their PVC, they should come out to vote en masse. All should go to their respective polling booths to cast their vote to the candidates that they desire.
Form 1 appealed to INEC to remove all encumbrances that may prevent women from participating in the exercise. They demanded separate queues for female and males to prevent mingling of men and women during the elections.
They should wake up very early, get the breakfast very early on the table, and ensure they go out to vote. And ensure that they pick a line, women to line up on one side and the men on one side. They should ensure that they go out to vote.
The Muslim women said they are ready to vote on Saturday, promising to raise awareness among other women to participate in the elections. Hamid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Osogbo.
An Islamic group, Jibwis, has called on Nigerians, especially Muslim Ummah across the country, to conduct themselves in a responsible manner during the upcoming general elections. The group made a call at the closing of its 30th National Annual Seminar in Jos Plateau State. Ado Musa completes the story.
With a team, electing righteous people of integrity is the basis of a successful society. The meeting focused on the importance of choosing leaders that have the fear of God. The group said mixing of religion and politics is an impediment to progress and development. Therefore, Nigerians should only elect credible leaders who will work for the interests of the masses. According to the national chairman, The only way for Nigerians to move forward is for the electorates not to allow selfish politicians to divide the country along religious lines. Allah says we should always come together as one entity, speak with one voice, and never allow anything that will divide us. It is when we come together, then we will be able to achieve our desired goal. As such, I call on all of you to unite. The Islamic cleric also admonishes Nigerians to vote only politicians who are ready to work and are sincere. There are people who are very deceptive. Don't associate with them. I urge you to be sincere with one another, as Allah is not happy with those deceiving others for their surreptitious objectives. In his remark, the Gombe State Governor, Alhaji Inuwa Yahaya, represented by Commissioner of Youth and Development, Abubakar Aminu, called on Nigerians to vote reliable leaders who will work for the interests of the country. We pray that Allah should help us elect good leaders who can serve the masses rather than serving themselves. We pray that the 2023 exercise will be conducted peacefully. The group, however, said Nigeria should be about leadership, character, audacity to think, the ability to solve problems, and leaders that will unite rather than choose those that do not have the plight of masses at heart. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
The Police Service Commission has replaced the former director of the Civil Society Directorate of the Presidential Campaign Council of the All Progressives Congress, Hajia Naja'atu Muhammad, as one of the coordinators that will supervise conduct of police officers during the forthcoming general elections. Her removal came barely 5 hours after the ruling APC protested her inclusion among 45 coordinators who will monitor the conduct of the police officers on election in the northwest region of the country on February 25 presidential and National Assembly elections. The commission had assigned Muhammad as one of the coordinators who will supervise the conduct of the police officers' affairs, but the Director, Public Affairs and spokesman of the APC Campaign Council, Festus Keyamo, in a statement on Monday said that she should be withdrawn immediately. Keyamo stated in a statement that the appointment was not only callous but insensitive, openly confrontational, and consequently unacceptable by the Tinubu-Shettima Presidential Campaign Council. The commission immediately bowed to pressure, saying that it had asked a former Assistant Inspector General of Police, Bawa Lawal, retired, who is from the same geopolitical zone with Commissioner Naja'atu, to take over the coordination of the monitoring of police conduct in the zone. The spokesman of the commission, Ikechukwu Ani, told Trust TV that the commission will always be sensitive to the wishes of Nigerians and will continue to contribute its quota to the sustenance of the nation's democracy. The Federal High Court in Lagos has granted an injunction restraining the Independent National Electoral Commission from engaging or further dealing with the chairman of the Lagos Parks and Garages, Musiliu Akinsanya, popularly known as MC Oluomo, or any of his representatives in the distribution of election materials and ad hoc staff for the forthcoming polls in the state. Justice Chukwujeku Aneke granted the injunction following an application filed by the Labour Party and its governorship candidate in the state, Gbadebo Rhodes Vivo. INEC was absent at the proceedings, even though lawyer to the Labour Party told the court that the commission was served with the court papers. The trial of a former Deputy Senate President, Ike Ekweremadu, continued on Monday at the Old Bailey Court in central England as the alleged victim of the organ harvesting saga involving the Nigerian lawmaker has testified. Ekweremadu and his wife Beatrice Doctor and Obinna Obeta were arrested in London in June last year after he was said to have facilitated the process that was meant to harvest the organ of 22-year-old street trader David Nwamini, who was recruited by the lawmaker to donate his kidney for Ekweremadu's daughter Sonia in violation of UK Anti-Modern Slavery Act. And Ekweremadu's 25-year-old daughter Sonia is also facing charges of conspiring to exploit the man for his organ. On February 6, the 4 accused persons appeared in London's famous Central Criminal Court, known as the Old Bailey, for the start of the trial after previously pleading not guilty. The 4 accused risk life imprisonment if convicted. In Monday's court proceedings, the victim was given the opportunity to tell his own side of the story. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at hurdles brown sugar producers face. Details of this and more after the break.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Now, as part of efforts to support Africa's goal of strengthening...
Now, looking at the activity chart, as you can see right here, a total volume of 130...
Inherited a Boko Haram crisis that at that time was restricted to Yobe.
How secure are they? You can see security men with blood.
This is the road leading up to the...
Or really, if you look at England squad, you are looking at EPL, you are looking at their names. You are not looking at...
Welcome back from that break. Now, let's take a look at some of the major stories. Commonwealth Observer Group pledges neutrality, urges stakeholders to ensure peaceful elections. Police train personnel on election security. Gunmen in the early hours of Monday attacked the Isiowulu police station, Awada, in Idemili North local government area of Anambra State, killing the divisional police officer and 2 others. The hoodlums in their numbers reportedly stormed the police facility at about 2:18 a.m. and engaged the police officers in a gun duel. The police, with the help of the military men, reportedly repelled and killed 3 hoodlums during the attack. The DPO, a newly recruited constable, and 1 inspector were the victims. The attack comes less than 24 hours after gunmen attacked the 3 police divisional office in Oyi local government area council, where about 6 of the hoodlums were killed. 2 AK-47 rifles were recovered from them alongside the vehicles used for the operation. Now, brown sugar production, locally known as Mazarakwela, is a lucrative business in Kaduna State and parts of northern Nigeria. The production of brown sugar thrives largely in the rural communities, but the business is suffering from lack of modern production machines. In this special report, Trust TV's Bello Musa spent time with brown sugar production communities living between Kaduna and Katsina states.
These are communities located in Kaduna, bordering Katsina State. Their main occupation is farming. Sugarcane is one of the major farm produce grown around here. Production of Mazar Kwaila, which is made from sugarcane, has been a lucrative business for these communities for decades. In the past, they used hose to go round and in the process squeeze the sugarcane to produce the liquid for brown sugar or Mazar Kwaila production. But now, motorcycles have taken over from hose as it goes round the machine to squeeze the sugarcane and extract the liquid. Buhari Usman and Magaji Abba have been in the production of Mazar Kwaila for over a decade. We used to call sugar rawandoki, but now we are using machine to squeeze the sugar cane. We plant it here on the farm during dry season, and when the sugar cane is ripe, we bring our machine to the farm and start the production. Boiling the liquid is a critical stage of the Mazar Kwaila production, and producers said the business is paying them. We have recorded success in the Mazar Kwaila production. We got married from this business and take care of my children and pay their school fees. We have migrated from using horse to motorcycles. This is a great achievement. On daily basis, they produce 5 of these pots due to non-availability of modern machine to squeeze the sugar cane to extract the liquid. Our machines are old. We inherited them from our fathers. Besides, we have to take them to Zaria or Kaduna for repairs when they develop faults. Our ambition is to buy modern machine for the production of sugar, but we don't rely on government. It takes 15 to 29 minutes on motorcycles from the main road to these communities, but people come from far and near to buy Mazar Kwaila. We sell the brown sugar at Danja, Bakori in Katsina, and Kaduna State, as well as other locations in Nigeria. This species of this sugar cane is planted in the rainy season and harvest during dry season. With the fertile land and the commitment of the farmers here, they could do more if only provided with fertilizer and dam for irrigation farming. Fertilizer is costly this year. We bought a bag at 25,000 naira, and we need a dam to allow us to grow sugar cane throughout the year. Zage-zage, Yakaji, Unguwar Sambo, Fankaw and other communities on Katsina-Kaduna boundaries are sugarcane farmers and brown sugar producers. They said if provided with modern farm input and other supportive implements, they could not only produce sugarcane for the brown sugar, but for the sugar industry in Nigeria. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Nigeria has been chosen by the heads of state and governments of the Sahel Region Climate Commission to host the Secretariat of the Sahel Climate Fund. According to a statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, this was contained in a communique issued at the end of the second conference of the heads of state and government of SRCC held on the margins of the 36th AU Summit. Garba said that the group also approved the appointment of Isifi Borem of Niger Republic as the Executive Secretary of the Commission. Borem will, until his appointment, was the coordinator of the transitory operational framework of the Commission. His appointment is for non-renewable period of 3 years without the possibility of candidacy for future terms of office. President Muhammadu Buhari had declared Nigeria's interest to host the headquarters of the Sahel Climate Fund and readiness to provide all necessary amenities. Away from Nigeria, the United States has announced new funding for Turkey and pledged to provide longer-term help as Ankara seeks to rebuild following this month's earthquake. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken made the announcement when he arrived in Turkey for an official visit. He took a helicopter ride with the Turkish Foreign Minister to observe the devastation caused by the earthquake in the southern Hatay province, one of the hardest hit. A 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck Turkey's southeast and neighboring Syria on February 6, killing more than 47,000 people and leaving 1 million plus people homeless, with the economic costs of the disaster expected to run into billions of dollars. Almost 2 weeks after the earthquake, search and rescue operations are coming to an end, but Blinken said that the United States will continue to help in what he said will be a long-term effort. Blinken also said that President Joe Biden intends to authorize $50 million in emergency refugee and migration assistance funds in response to earthquake in Turkey and Syria.
Today I can announce that we will be putting in another $100 million to assist those who are so desperately in need. Humanitarian Assistance Fund that the State Department and USAID have, and that will be moving soon. At the same time, we are working in very close collaboration with our Turkish colleagues, both to understand all of the needs and to find ways to deliver on them.
And that's a wrap on the news update. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba Ila. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.